Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football, a Love Story, and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books.
Welcome to Football Game Plans Talking with TD. I'm your host, Dy'shawn Davenport.
Welcome to FootballGamePlan.com. I am Dy'shawn Davenport, and we're going to continue the Talking with TD series. We're going to bring in a running back that I really like, Dy'shawn Mobley out of Eastern Kentucky. Dy'shawn, how's it going, man?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing really well, man. I appreciate you coming on. Like I said, I really like your game. One thing that I noticed in watching you right away, you have some breakaway speed. And just in watching your form and everything, I said, this guy, he has to have run track. I saw that you have a track background. Just talk a little bit about how your track background, your speed, your form, how does that help you as a breakaway running back?
It helps me a lot because once I break open, I feel like once I break open, I don't feel like I'm going to get caught just because of my track. I just go back to my track form and I just stay at that form until I hit the end zone. So that helped me a lot throughout my career. Yeah,
it definitely showed. And another thing I liked in watching some of your games, you have a nice stiff arm. You're able to use that stiff arm to get the defender off you. And like I said, you get to the open field and you take off. As far as your game's concerned, I mean, you're 5'11", 6 feet, 225. Are there any particular players in the NFL that you would say have a similar style to what you bring to the table?
I don't really think that I have like similar style, but I really like Matt Forte. Matt Forte is one of my favorite running backs. He's just a downhill run physical. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He's a problem at the backfield. So I really like his game a lot. So I would probably try to mimic his game a little bit.
Okay, so you're big on being a complete running back. You're big on being able to catch the ball at the backfield, run the football, obviously. Let's talk a little bit about the pass protection side of things. I mean, that's something at the next level you're going to have to be able to do that. How are your pass pro skills?
Oh, I love blocking more than I love running the ball and catching the ball. I take that as a big emphasis on my game, just because I know if you get the quarterback hit, then you wouldn't be playing. So I take that really serious. And when I went down there to the Gridiron Showcase in Texas, I really showed that my pass protection skills was A1. So that really helped me out a lot.
I'm glad you mentioned the Gridiron Showcase because that's something I wanted to get into with you. So just as far as that experience was concerned, how was the feedback? How was it to be able to go against other guys who are considered top college prospects?
Man, I loved it because this season wasn't really a season for me. It was just like my hamstring was nagging the whole season. So it really helped me out a lot, just going out there showing the scouts that I was healthy and really just competing against some of the best guys around the country. And I really had fun down there. It was just a great experience for me.
Yeah, and just talking about this past season, I mean, I think really the season to watch for you was 2014, 1,400 yards rushing, 1,491 to be exact, 5.8 yards per carry. So that's definitely something that stands out, 20 touchdowns. As far as your game is concerned, I mean, I know you touched on it a little bit when you talked about Matt Forte, but how would you describe your game as a running back? What do you bring to the table?
I'm just really physical, and I just like to. I'm parked outside, really in front of the gym right now. I'm about to go in the gym, just work on my game, just work on my lower body. I just like being really physical. That helps me out a lot with my game.
Yeah, the physical part of it is definitely something that has to come. And, at 225, you definitely have the build to be able to do that. Just looking at, you started out at Kentucky. You had a really good game, actually, against Tennessee, 143 yards. And so that was definitely a solid game. Talk about the transition, just going from Kentucky to Eastern Kentucky and how that came about.
I really didn't feel like it was a big transition because the Eastern Kentucky players, my brothers, they took me in like as brothers. So it really wasn't as big of a transition for me. It really was just me getting my head on straight, knowing that those coaches were going to depend on me each and every Saturday to make plays for them. And that's where I just grew. And I was waiting for them to call my name each and every Saturday to make a play for my team.
Yeah, and I know you had a relationship with Coach Hodges. Is that correct? Was that something else that helped make that transition happen?
Yes, sir, definitely. I kept in contact with Coach Hodges throughout my career at Kentucky. And also I talk to him to this day just because he was one of those coaches that stuck with me throughout thick and thin and was just like always right there by my side. Even though I wasn't at Eastern Kentucky the first few years, we still talked and stuff like that. So that was real big on me, like built a relationship with him throughout the recruiting in high school. So that was real big.
Now, Dy'shawn, the thing with football, and I think this is a good example, the game of football will teach you a lesson, that you could apply to life. And I think that your transition from Kentucky to Eastern Kentucky, I think that taught you a lesson, just to not burn bridges, and always keep relationships open. Would you say that would be the biggest lesson that you've learned from the game, or what would you say is the biggest lesson that you could take away from football?
I feel like I'm yet to learn my biggest lesson because I haven't made my dream come true yet. But I feel like it was a big transition from going to Eastern Kentucky to Eastern Kentucky, and it was just me growing as a person, me growing as a man, me just being able for my coaches to depend on me and my players to depend on me, for those guys to look at me when a play needs to be made, for those guys to look at me and have my number being called, that meant everything to me, and I just feel like that helped me grow as a man.
So you got to go against Kentucky this past season. What was it, 74 yards you had against them? You had a touchdown as well. As a running back, a lot of people don't understand how important it is to have patience as a running back. So now you're going against a team that you left. How do you prepare for that week? What's going through your mind, and how do you remain patient and not hit that whole 100 miles an hour like you probably want to when you're going against your former team?
Yeah, the crazy thing is I really couldn't hit the hole as hard as I wanted just because my hamstring was nagging. But I feel like I played pretty good out there, and it was just like you always got to be patient. You got to let the linemen dig those defenders out of there, and just trust your linemen, because that's at the end of the day, you and those guys are going to be doing the work in the run game. So you just have to trust those guys up front, that knowing that they're going to do what they're going to do, and you just be patient and just run behind them.
Now, in watching you, that's another thing that I saw. As you mentioned earlier, you catch the football pretty well. So just looking at your catching ability, is that something that you have acquired through working with the jugs machine, or just how did you acquire the ability to catch the football?
Like, once again, like when I was at Kentucky, they really didn't throw the running backs the ball. So when I went to Eastern Kentucky, they really threw the ball to the running backs. And the coach told me that he was going to be throwing me the ball a lot because he wanted me to get space, go against the smaller defender. So that really just helped me out. And Benny Coney, he really emphasized me catching the ball. He would throw the ball each and every after practice and stuff like that. So Benny Coney really helped me out with my hands. And I stayed on the jugs machines quite a bit.
Yeah, that jugs machine would get you right, man. It makes sure that hand positioning is right. You have to squeeze that football, or else you end up getting hurt.
Yeah, as long as you find the nose of the football and look it all the way in, you won't drop it.
Right, look it to the tuck, most important. Now, I saw that you have some return ability. That's something that you did in the past. Is that something an opportunity that you would welcome at the next level?
Oh, definitely. I'll get on the field any kind of way possible. It doesn't matter. I could be a freaking long snapper. I'm gonna do the best I can do at that long snapper. But I'll do anything it takes to get on the field just to help my team win.
Now, just to reinforce that, I saw that you contributed a lot on special teams while you were at Kentucky, so that's definitely a good thing to point out. So as far as between now and the end of the month, that's when things will really start cooking. What's on your menu? What's next for Dy'shawn Mobley?
Really, man, I'm just grinding each and every day to get better and just become a better football player, become a better man. It's just like you got to keep your head focused and not get distracted. Just stay grounded, stay humble, and just keep grinding.
Are you working out in Tennessee?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay. At any particular facility, or you have a particular guy training?
Yes, sir. I'm down at Johnny Long Training Academy in Corns, Tennessee.
Okay. Are there any other prospects working out with you?
There's a couple prospects from the University of Tennessee.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, as far as workouts are concerned, do you have any workouts scheduled? I'm not going to ask you what teams, but just in overall, do you have workouts scheduled?
No, sir, I have, but those in the past. But no, sir, I don't have any scheduled to this day. No, sir.
Okay, so your past workouts, how did those go? What were some of the good things that you were able to gather from those, from the personnel folks?
Really just sitting, talking with the coach. And then one of the coaches, he told me, he was like, because I really was worried about my 40 speed. He was like, don't worry about your 40 speed. He was like, you're a football player. We all know you're a football player. He's like, you're not a track star. He was like, you're a football player. So just work on your football, your footwork and stuff like that, your blocking and stuff like that, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they mentioned that because you look at the combine and you look at these pro days and all these other things, and you have guys that just all of a sudden start raising up the draft order. You know, a guy suddenly be a top prospect just based off of what he does in shorts and t-shirts. So definitely take heed to that, because really what they watch and what's most important is what you're able to do on the football field. And I tell you, judging by what I've seen from you, it's definitely impressive. So keep up that good work. And we'll definitely want to get you back on at some point in the near future, you know, once things get going. And, man, I wish you the best, man.
I thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
No problem. Thanks for talking shop with me.
That wraps up this edition of Talking with TD. Be sure to check out all of my interview segments at footballgameplan.com/talkingwithtd. If you have any questions or people you want me to sit down with, hit me up on Twitter at @TDavenport_NFL.